what is the actual meaning of whether God is having form or God is not having form? In some like Islam or Judaism, they said there is no form of God, and then in our religion we say that there is Paramatma, and then there is a form of God, and then there are so many images of God that each and every one of us is worshipping with awe and reverence and with a lot of love. So God, if you say that God does not have a form, so it is to say that God does not have something that I have, so which actually diminishes the power or potency of the God. So if God cannot have something which I have a form, I have a shape, and if God does not have the form or shape, then God is not having something which I have. So that makes God lacking something. That is not possible. If I say God has a form but he is not visible, so that again says that how can it be possible that somebody has a form is not visible? Now there is another understanding that there are so many things that have forms, and there are so many things that we cannot see with our naked eyes, or there are so many realities beyond our understanding and perception and vision that exist, that until we know about them, how they exist and in what shape they exist, we will not be able to understand and believe that they actually exist. So leaving apart the part how to see God and how to acquire knowledge about God, that goes to different scope that I'll explain in a separate video. But in essence, if I say that I have parents and they had their own parents and they had their own parents, so at a certain point when we reach at a point where he does not have a parent, he is God. So he is not created by anyone. He himself was existing even before anything existed, even before time existed, even before space existed, even before anything that we can comprehend to be existing, God existed. So now moving to another understanding, God has two aspects. One is a aspect that gives him a form, and another is a formless aspect. So for example, you have a light bulb in your house. So the light bulb emits light. So the light that is emitted by the light bulb is formless. The light rays are formless. They don't have a form. They are just the light rays. But the light rays would not come out if there is no light source, if there was no bulb, if there was no tube light, if there was no LED bulb or something like that. So the light source, that means the formless, has a source in its form. So bulb which has a form give rise to light which has no form. So in essence, God has a form, has a shape, has a shape, and from his bodily shape, a effulgence that comes out, and that effulgence is the all-pervading Brahman, or the formless existence of God, and the formless existence has in its source in the shape or in the form of God. So this is the complete understanding that the Sanatana Dharma, the Bhagavad Gita gives, and the Vedic scriptures provide. And when we understand this aspect, that God is simultaneously having a form and a formless aspect, the form is superior to the formless aspect, and the formless aspect is the all-pervading energy that he is extending himself throughout the creation, and he is a localized person as God, who is the source of this impersonal energy or the formless light that comes from his body. So if we say that God does not have form, that means he is lacking something which is not possible. And if we say that God is having a form and he does not have a nirakar form, or does not have a formless light, that will also diminish his position. So he is having the both the aspects, but then one is superior to other and one is the source of other. And it is not necessary for him to have that aura or that jyoti or that light coming from his body to be all pervasive. He can be all pervasive through his varieties of different energies. He can be all pervasive throughout the entire creation in the localized aspect of Paramatma. So he can be all pervasive within every living entities in the form of his expansion as Paramatma, who is residing in each and every individual living entities bodies. So that way also he is all pervading. So there are three levels of understanding. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yadjnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabdyate. So there are three levels of understanding. First level of understanding, the lowest level of understanding, is to understand that God is nothing but light. So having the light, so for example we can take that there is a sun that gives sun rays. So sun rays are basically the formless identity of the sun. But when we further understand, then we get to know that there is a sun planet. So in the sun planet, so that means the sun planet has a shape, has a form. So that is the next level of understanding. And when we say Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti sabdyate, so when you say Brahman energy, so Brahman is the all pervading light form energy. And then next level is Paramatma. Paramatma is localized God in each and every living entity. Localized Paramatma in each and every living entity. That Paramatma is existing in each and every one of us. And the next highest level of understanding is Bhagavan, is the personal aspect of God who is supreme and controlling every one of these things, be the Paramatma, be the Brahman, and be every one of the living entities, including matter. Everything is under his complete control. Nothing is out of his control at any point of time. Even time, even space, everything is under his complete control. What we are not able to perceive is how he is doing that. What we are not able to know is that where he does and how he does and why he does certain things. So to understand that completely, we need to go through a certain course that I am coming up with, that is got a very clear understanding on different levels. Who am I? Who is God? How to understand God? What is this universal affairs? How there are so many religions that has come up, and why there are so many religions, and why there is so much of difference in opinion with respect to all these religions, and how do we practice the spirituality in practical daily lives. And very simple way it is explained, and it is very easy to perform. And spirituality is something that is inherent and core to our soul. And when we understand these basic principles, it will be very easy to practice spirituality. So please join the group. I am launching a Facebook group. It is on the invitation basis, and if you are interested to carry it forward, please join the group, and we'll see you in the group, and then there will be a lot of activities going on in the group. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share if you feel it will be beneficial to those who you want to share with. Thank you very much. Bye.